Alright guys, and welcome back to Armoured Warfare, and today we are taking out the Tier 8 main battle tank, the T90. So 2 days ago, we did the T80, and now we're doing the T90, the one up from it. And now I can highly recommend the T90. If you're a newer player, and you've only just started playing the game, you're wondering, what tank do I go for? The Leopards look really good, the Abramses look really good, or the Challengers look really good. Well, look no further, because the T-series of tanks, despite actually what everyone else says about the T-series, I find them really easy to play. I find they're the most friendly tanks to new players you can play. They've got heavy frontal armour, really good turret armour basically all round, basically the best guns for their tiers on the penetration and the damage output. They're also quite mobile vehicles at that as well. They're the easiest ones to play. Point your front at the enemy, use your mobility to get to the choke points, and then just shoot them. Simple. Your gun usually penetrates anyway, as long as you aim it right, you'll be fine. And here's the T90. Perfect main battle tank. I really enjoy this tank. It's actually one of only 2 tier 8s I have. As much as everyone says or thinks I have every vehicle in the game, I only have every tier up to 10, excluding the tier 8s. I don't have any of them. I have the Type 98 and the T90. And to be honest, the T90, it's my favourite one. I enjoy it. It's really, really good fun. So we're on pipelines again, and we've gone into the same spot as we were in the T80. Now this spot here is very, very strong for the T-series of vehicles. It allows us to use our gun as such. Boom! 617 through the driver's hatch. And it allows us to use our amazing frontal armour just to point it. Because we've got a hill to our side, enemies can't shoot us in the side. We can just, dictate the angle of engagement to where we want to shoot at them. Here's an enemy T90, spin the frontal armour to him. As you see in this replay, all the time I'm using my frontal armour. I'm always spinning the front to the vehicle, because one thing about these vehicles is they've got very weak side armour, but they've got incredibly strong frontal armour. So every time there's an enemy, you'll always see me turn the front towards them. I think there's only one instance in this replay, or this game, where I don't turn the front towards an enemy, and that's simply because he's not looking my way. I can just spin the turret and shoot at him, so I didn't need to spin the front towards him. But in this situation here, using this mound to block any enemies onto our right, say that Ariete there and the BMDs up on the ridgeline, we can stop them firing at us to our right, and we can just point our frontal armour in this direction, move backwards and forwards, make it difficult for them to hit our weak spots, and then just take a shot, take a chance when we want to with our gun. There we are, move further back now. That T90's coming. He's made a mistake there. He came round the corner showing his drive wheel, his front drive wheel. Easy penetration though for the T90's 125mm gun. Really, really easy to take that out. And now that wouldn't work if I'd shot him. Now I'm trying to see if I can hit the side of his hull, but it's not working. I can't. He's just far enough back for me not to be able to hit it. His lower plate's there and I can shoot his tracks, but that would just be a waste of a shot really. I'd rather save my armour piercing just in case we needed them for later on in the match. Challenger 1, tier 7 main battle tank, green on the side, but he just angles it well enough that my shell ricochets. And this enemy T90 comes out into the open, and I'll just shoot him in the driver's hatch again. Angle my tank, move it back behind cover. There's no way he can penetrate me at that sort of range and that sort of angling. So he disengages and falls back. Enemy Challenger 1 still over there. I'm still a bit worried about it, because that 120 can penetrate the T90 frontally, but he has to be very, very lucky. Now I'm taking a bold risk here. I'm coming out into the open with my side exposed to that Challenger, to the T90, and to all manner of vehicles that may be over there. But it pays off. That Leopard 2A5 takes a big hit in the side there, dealing 739 damage. Now that was a pretty lucky hit. The T90 fires into my side, my tracks absorb it. I get tracked, no enemy guns firing at me, so I don't use my repair kit to bring it back up. I can wait for it to reload, and I snapshot one straight into his lower plate, finishing that T90 off. Now, I suddenly realise here I've run out of friends. It's just me. Enemy T90, there's a 2A5, there's a T80, Challenger 1, another T90, an Ariete, there's an Abrams, sorry, there's a lot of them. Now, this T90 is hesitant to attack me. That Centaurio 120 behind me is forcing him. He's not allowed to attack me. If he did, Centaurio 120 would hit him. So I was proxy spotting that T90 for the friendly Paladin, who hit him for a juicy 400 damage. There's the enemy T90. Can I hit him? No, my shell goes wide and I just miss his engine deck. Now that is really annoying, that shot there. Now that T90 knows that I want to come for him. So he's probably checking behind him, checking for me to come back over. So I come up the top of the hill, where I can use my turret armor to my advantage, using the rock to my left to stop any enemies on the left firing into me. Now that shot there went too low and it just got a no effect on the T80. Penetrated his lower plate, but the no effect means it penetrates, but it doesn't hit anything internal that is critical at all. Now this is what I mean. Ariette chasing across in the open, and I just turned the turret and fired at him. No need to turn the hull towards him, it'd be a waste of time. And it probably meant I wouldn't be able to get it due to dispersion. Come back over, and there's the 2A5, straight into the side, finish him off as well, within the reload. Brilliant. BMD4 and all that on the hill. Now this spot does make it very open to the vehicles up on the ridgeline there, up on the highway. But we're not worried about them. The Centauro 120 is dealing with them. So we now put ourselves into 1 versus 2. T80 and T90 versus T90. We take a hit from the T90 and it bounces, and the T80 round, and it bounces as well. T90 comes over the hill, fire below into the armoured floor of the tank, which is not very thick at all, and you can basically penetrate with everything. And I'm going for his weak spot now. Now you can see me here, while we're dueling, instead of pointing my front at him and just sitting there, I'm moving the tank backwards and forwards, side to side. It's making it very difficult for that T90 to penetrate my weak spots. And I kill him, of course. He sits there pointing his front. T80 angles inwards as he sees I'm about to shoot his side, and that's good play from that T80 there. And I do bounce, but he does what the T90 does, and he doesn't angle his hull while we're face hugging, and I completely take him off. Now, Paladin, he's focusing down on me. Now, I make a series of bad plays here. I'm loading heat rounds because the Centauro 120 is coming from behind, but I'm spotted. The enemy T90 behind me has got me spotted, and so is the Challenger 1. So I come into here thinking that I'll be able to get there quickly, and then disaster. The Paladin strikes me for a lot of critical damage. So I repair it, and the T90 hit me in the side as we did so. And I completely balls this shot up on the heat round of the Centauro, and he gets me right into the side like that, finishing me off and ultimately ending the match. So for me, the T90 has to be probably all round my favourite main battle tank. Tier for tier, just not in the sense of it being fun to play or it just being great, etc. But the overall blend of mobility, firepower and armour that really brings together the main battle tank really does come together in the T90. And if there are any new players out there that are thinking, well, what tank is friendly? This tank, the T90, is very forgiving in your mistakes. It will let you carry on fighting, and that gun will let you put hole after hole through enemy tanks relatively easily. And the frontal armour of this vehicle and the turret armour is about 540mm thick on the upper plate. As well as it, look at how well angled back it is. It's angled back at quite an angle there. So basically nothing's going to penetrate that. The entire turret is cylindrical. It's just a big circle, so nothing's going to penetrate the front of the turret. The vehicle is incredibly strong. It will just not die if you play it correctly. And once you get to the T90 through the rest of all your T-Series vehicles, you'll be an ace with the T90. And then using its mobility as well that it has to just outflank enemies, just push up quickly, and then use the armour and the firepower all together into a perfect blend for what I think is, tier for tier, one of the best main battle tanks to play. So at the end of that round in the T90, we managed to pull off just shy of 6,500 damage. We got 5 kills and 8 spots. We were the MVP of our team there on the Master Gunner, Ace Tanker, Iron Star, and we got Recon. And for a fact, because actually while I was recording this post-game stats, my recording software decided to bug out while I was doing it, so I've only got this screenshot of the page. But under details and under potential damage mitigated, I bounced 5,300 damage. That position on Port Storm is so strong for main battle tanks. I highly recommend it if you're going to play one. If you're in a T-Series tank, it's vital you get to that spot and take it. The T-Series thrive in that close range environment, holding choke points and just doing damage like that. It's utterly just destructive to the enemy team. They can't weed you out unless they rush you. And the T-Series tanks are very capable at close range. So it does become quite a challenge for them to remove you. So guys, thank you for watching this T90 gameplay. I hope you've enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.